What's going on, guys? Strider the Champ here, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to have my first weapon guide for a half sword, and this is the physics-based medieval melee game that you guys have been watching on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel, and I've been obsessed with this game, and I think this is one of those games that if you want to go in there knowing nothing, just flailing around, you can have a lot of fun, and then you can move on, but if you want to get into the game and play it a little bit more like an actual combat simulator, there's a massively high skill gap here, and it's one of those things that gets kind of addicting trying to learn all the mechanics and get better at the game. So today's video, we're going to be jumping into the Halberd, and I'm going to teach you guys how to use the Halberd in a more tactical way. This is meant to get you guys started. What's great about Half Sword is there's an extremely high skill ceiling to it, so there's a lot of different play styles and different mechanics you can learn to manipulate and come up with your own styles. So let's hop in, and I'm going to get you guys started on the Halberd here today. All right, welcome into the training arena here, and when we go over the half sword, we're going to talk offense, we're going to talk defense, and we're going to talk a few different mechanics and combos and strategies that you can use in your gameplay. So we start out, we'll use the training dummy a little bit here. Sometimes we won't want to hit it, but the thing you're going to notice with the Halberd, it's all about distance, right? In these physics-based combat games, the first thing you want to always do is make sure that your spacing is on point between you and your enemy, because your blade is going to hit wherever the model shows. So right now, right, I'm real close, right, and here we'll go nice and slow. Look, we're winding up, and we're only hitting with the wood part of our blade, which means we're not going to get a lot of damage. So what we want to do is make sure we're getting to that proper distance where we're getting our blade to be able to make contact with our target, right? That's always step one. Things are all about safety, and I always like to say with the Halberd, especially as we get into gameplay style a little bit more, better to be a tad too far and to miss than to be a tad too close and to either hit with shaft or get caught up in a kind of grapple fest with a weapon that's not meant to be long. All right, so let's talk about the different type of strikes that are most effective with the Halberd, because a lot of times when we see videos of people playing on TikTok or whatever, right, you're just boom, 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 swinging like a lunatic. It looks crazy, and it will work against the bots to some extent, right? But if you want to get really good at the game, that's probably not the way. So I like to say we mostly go with horizontal type attacks with the Halberd. And our first one, right, is kind of like a 3/4, right? We're up here, and we're going to go down in a diagonal arrow, and we're going for kind of the head or the neck type area. So here we go. Bam. Right? And we're right in at that neck point. That is our target right there. If we miss, you know, that's okay too. If we are able to just kind of land on the helmet, we get a concussive blow, but we really want to go a little bit lower and get in that little gap in the armor. That's where we're going to get our killing blows, and a lot of times these are going to be concepts that we go with where we want to find the gaps in armor, and then of course we're just going to have our regular horizontal slash, right, where we're looking to attack with the blade. And when this is happening, if they have armor here, we can't quite get it in under this arm here, but you want to go in that gap right under the armpit. That's a great place to hit if they have a breastplate. If they don't, right, you're just going for center mass here. It doesn't really matter as long as you hit. Right? That's a great strike. And then our last strike is we want to do those horizontals down towards the feet, especially if the enemy is unarmored down there. A lot of the bots, they always have different armor, so you have to kind of make a judgment call when you start fighting. Like, hey, this guy's got a helmet, and he's got a chest, so I'm going to throw a lot of my strikes early down to the feet. Well, they might not be killing blows immediately. What they do is incapacitate. And what we want to do is we can play around this kind of game of going high, going low, and kind of like low, 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 and then up high, right? Or we can start up, boom, boom, boom. We're moving around. Bam, we're going up high. Now we're going down low. We're going down low, right? We're going down low. Up, now we want to come back up high again. My movement's a little sloppy here while I'm talking. It'll be better once we start fighting, right? All right, so those are the strikes we want to mess around with, right? We got our medium strike, boom. We got our low strike, boom. And then we got our upward, like 3/4 horizontal, where we're bringing it down towards the neck or the head, all right? So now, what do we talk about with our backhand, okay? With the Halberd, the thing about the backhand is if you look, Now, there are a few different models of the Halberd here. This is one of the least effective ones, but if you look, I don't necessarily have much blade on my backhand here, right? So that's why we mostly want to strike with our forehand strike, because what happens is, let me back up, I won't be able to hit the bot here, but we swing here, and then you come back with a sword, and you got a killing blow. But with the Halberd, a lot of times when you come back, you're hitting, right, with well, that was actually a good one. You're hitting with the wood part, so it's not quite effective. Now you can, but it's a much more harder strike to land. You can kill people if you nip them with the tip here, which is effective, but you have a much smaller surface area to land a killing blow. But we can kind of play with that a little bit, right? So you do have kind of the basic combos here where you would do like you normally do. Maybe you come up with a overhead slash, and then you come back with a backhand. Now, this sometimes can kill them. You want to go with the same targets of the body, the head, or the legs. Right? But a lot of times this is more just to land damage if you can, right? So it's a lot of times you miss, and then you come back, right? You miss, we'll shorten a little bit, and you come back. And you can use your movement and your blade to do this. And you want to make sure you're throwing it at an effective range here. Miss, and you come back, right? I always say throw a little bit further than you think, because if they move in, you kill them. If they move out, it's not the end of the world that you throw again. Another combo I like to throw with this is I like to miss my my overhead or my slash, works with any of them, on purpose. And then I like to use my Alt key. I prefer to stab with the Alt key, right? So you miss, you hit Alt, and it holds the weapon right here, locked and ready to release, and then you just come forward for a stab. And if you notice, the Halberd does have a sharp tip, right? And you can come in and just... Our model bugged in out there. All right, you can come in and just kind of stick it right in them, okay? All right, so you're locked in over here. You miss, Alt, and you're coming in with a stab, and you can do that pretty quick, right? And you can go for whatever is available. Up in the head is going to be a little bit harder. I like to go for center mass against guys who are wearing a breastplate, right? And you can get a killing blow if you stick it in there. All right, so that's kind of the bread and butter of our offense or the moveset that we're going to use, but... You know, offense only works with defense when you combine them, right? And that's what makes the Halberd so good is when you combine it with defense and footwork. But let's talk just for a second about blocking. The Halberd is not the best weapon to block against, like, swords and stuff, because for me to really block effectively, if you look, I kind of hold my Halberd, and it's out here. For me to really effectively block, I have to bring it up here if I'm going to start parrying away close strikes, which is a little weird because the weapon is meant to be held kind of like this. So for you to really be getting blocks and parries, you're going to fight against other pole arms, and then you can kind of use this to actively boom and meet them wherever they are, but it's not the most accurate weapon to block with. It's not like a longsword. And you also have the problem, if they're too close to you, is that your hands aren't protected at all here, so swords and stuff will hit your hands quite often. So blocking is not the best form of defense on the Halberd. I will say, though, on the blocking port, if someone does get into your defenses, they get close, the best thing to do is to go to that half sword, which is so good inside, and use bam, 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 and just kind of bludgeon and grapple. I don't want to knock the target around. All right, we'll do it over here. Just kind of go back and forth, right, and just kind of bludgeon them away and use that to shift their body so that you can move out and get some room. But the half sword is great when someone gets you inside to kind of block overheads and just kind of parry the guy off to the side. You can move his equilibrium a little bit, and a lot of times it off balances them, and then by the time you're out here, they're not really recovered, and whack, you can go in for a shot. But now, the big thing you want to do, we won't be able to hit the bot here, unfortunately, is mix your footwork with your offense, right? The best way to avoid hits of the Halberd is to use the range and avoid. So a lot of times you can kind of hang out just kind of on the edge of range, and you want to hit shift and a back pedal to move back, and you take one step. And a lot of times as someone starts to throw at you, right, you kind of just hover on the end of range, take a step back, and bam, you come down. And that's where you get a lot of your shots in. And that'll slow the bots down who like to rush you, because now they have to respect your range. And whenever they come back and bam. And now you can do, we talked about that combo right before, right? They're coming in, you can back up, you can back, and then you can go into your stab attack, right? You can also do it where the other combo we talk about, the bot's coming at you, you make them miss, and then you're back with the backhanded strike, right? Now, sometimes you might even land the first strike, they keep coming in, and then you backhand them and get another strike, which even if it doesn't quite land with the tip for a kill, you are getting some damage in knocking their equilibrium off. All right, so we're going to transition to some gameplay now. I'm going to try to show you guys a bunch of different ways I use it as I play. I don't know if I'll be able to get every single combo I talked about in here, but you guys can at least see what it looks like in motion when you're trying to play tactical with a halberd or a pole weapon in this game, as there's a lot of translation from this weapon to the other two-handed longer weapons. Oh, spear. This is actually one of the tougher matches because they have distance too. He got his weapon stuck. Let's see if we can get him to get his weapon out, yeah. Oh, man. Look, that is a beautiful... Those 3/4 shots are some of the best shots with this weapon, and that's perfect. That's right in that neck there, and it's going to be a fatal weapon. It's going to be a fatal blow on almost every weapon in the game. Yep. See, we're fine with that. We missed that shot, but we're going to keep the distance, and we hit him with the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. And then the fifth one, right? It's all about precision with the halberd here. And that's why I love playing in like these more refined styles with this game. Because there's such a high... Oh! He's coming in hot. He's dead, though, I think. All right, we got him with the backhand there. See, that's a good example of the backhand actually doing damage. How this guy's not dead, I do not know. Oh! Well, another shot to the head. He's got to be dead, right? He's got to be dead. Stay down. Oh, this will be fun. All right, we got a two-hander. They got a little bit more range. Here, let's bait him out with a hit. All right, we're just throwing to try to get him to swing. Oh, my gosh. That is absolutely beautiful. All right, those 3/4 strikes. That's really where I was at. And we'll throw again. I'm just throwing to get him to throw. Something janky happened there. But that's a great strategy, too, with the halberd, right? You throw from a little far out of range, boom, then they start throwing, and then that's where you land your backstep shots. Now, let's play with a combo. I'm going to go backhanded from out of range, try to bait him in, and then hit him, all right? I want to do that again, right? No, backhand out of range, and then precision strike up top. Right, that's how you can play around with these bots, right? Not every strike needs to kill. We can throw the strikes to just mess with them, right? Here, let's see if I can bam and backhand right to the head, right? We threw that overhead just to get them to throw, and then we came right back with the tip, and we couldn't have landed cleaner than that. That was absolutely beautiful. All right. Now we can just kind of reset it. He's already a little injured, and he's got a short weapon, so there's nothing he can do. And then, boom, precision shot right to the neck. It's just, you know, it's just pure precision at this point. Ah, spear. Oh, we can play around with blocking the spear, right? See, that's 2 blocks in a row, right? We just kind of keep it at the tip. 3 blocks in a row. We're just keeping it away from us. All right, now let's fight. So you can block with these, but not the ideal way. He's not dead. Come on, yes. Not the ideal way of fighting is using this to block stuff. You really want to use your footwork. All right, spear again. All right, so can we hit some blocks here? All right, see, we intercepted his first 2 attempted strikes. First 3 attempted strikes right here because we're using it at long range to block. You can't block short range with this weapon. Let's see if we can get him to come in. And he's done. There you go. That's how you block with the halberd, gentlemen. Defense, it can be used for, but not the ideal way to use for it. Mostly want to use footwork, but against the pole weapons, it works pretty good to use it to kind of intercept their blade.